The movie begins 5 years ago in Cairo, Egypt. Inside a lavish mansion, we meet an enraged billionaire named Mr. Sullivan. He's furious with his employees, though the reason remains known only to him. Not far from the mansion, Ms. Tarantula is busy hacking into the estate security system. Meanwhile, Shark and the rest of the crew are each carrying out their parts of a larger plan to ensure the mission's success. As Wolf prepares to infiltrate the mansion, Tarantula shuts down the entire surveillance system, clearing the way for him to slip in unnoticed. Once inside, the crew confronts Mr. Sullivan, who immediately recognizes them and is visibly shaken by their presence. Wolf heads straight for Sullivan's high-security safe room, unlocking it with precision. Then he moves toward one of Sullivan's most prized vehicles. But before they exit the building, Snake hands Sullivan a gift, a device that looks like a bomb. When it goes off, however, it simply explodes into colorful confetti. The gang makes their escape, triggering a citywide chase, but it's nothing Wolf can't handle. He quickly outruns the police and disappears. We cut to the present day. Wolf is struggling with a rundown vehicle and begins narrating. Everything had been going well after years of trying to reunite the team. Once they were back together, they took down Marmalade and shocked the world by turning themselves in. They had a good run as the bad guys, but prison life, while tough, at least kept them together. Now Wolf realizes that to truly grow, they have to leave their criminal past behind, and that starts with finding honest work. He aims to land a job at a bank, but things don't go as planned. He's robbed that same bank 3 times, which doesn't help his case. Tarantula and the rest of the team also attempt to go straight, but despite their efforts, nobody wants to hire them. Their criminal reputation follows them everywhere. Back at the bank, Wolf tries to convince the manager he's genuinely trying to change. The manager says he'll call if something opens up. Wolf leaves hopeful, only to return later and find the manager tearing up his resume. He tries several other jobs but has no luck. When he returns to the hideout, a mountain of unpaid bills is waiting for him. He meets up with the team, who are eager to hear how things went. During their conversation, Shark brings up a rumor. The media is linking Wolf to a new criminal called the Phantom Bandit. Wolf is stunned. He turns on the TV to learn more and sees that the mysterious thief has stolen 3 priceless artifacts and even mimicked their signature confetti bomb trick. Naturally, the media assumes the bad guys are behind it. Later that day, Wolf visits Diane to clear his head. They spar together, though Wolf ends up with a black eye. Diane encourages him not to give up. Change takes time. On his way out, Wolf sees Officer Grunz giving an interview about the Phantom Bandit and heads to her office. Despite their rocky history, he proposes they work together. As the team begins investigating, they uncover that the heist was pulled off with the help of a hacked system. Wolf suggests bringing in an expert. When Tarantula arrives, she confirms the hacker had inside help. As they piece things together, they predict the next target. Tarantula believes the thief is after the world-famous MacGuffinite, specifically, a championship belt made from it, set to be awarded that evening to the state's top wrestler. Just then, Grunz calls to confirm their theory. The next hit is tonight. That evening, the team heads to the venue to stop the theft and rescue Snake. They bump into Grunz, and Shark accidentally knocks her out in a panic. They regroup, locate Snake, and charge in only to find Snake's girlfriend, Susan, with him. The wrestling match begins. After a fierce showdown, Elapo wins and prepares to receive the belt. But suddenly, a new masked fighter enters the ring. Wolf suspects the fighter's plan is to win and steal the belt. Just before the masked man can finish off his opponent, Wolf intervenes. A chaotic fight breaks out. Snake, Shark, and Wolf battle the masked thief and win, but it comes at a cost. The pig-faced fighter frames them. The crowd turns hostile, and just as Grunz wakes up and spots Wolf fleeing, she gives the order to arrest them. Though the team escapes, their van crashes after spotting Grunz. She labels them fugitives. Meanwhile, the pig fighter calls her boss. The entire setup was a distraction for the real heist. On the run again, the gang hides out as Susan drives. They ask how she and Snake met, and the couple happily shares their story. Wolf then calls Diane, hoping for help. Though upset, Diane believes in Wolf's innocence. She urges him to stay hidden and warns him not to trust anyone. She then sets off on her own mission. Back in the car, Wolf returns to find his team unconscious, and in a twist, it turns out Susan orchestrated everything. When the crew wakes up tied and trapped, they're introduced to the true mastermind, Kitty Cat, along with her crew, including the fake Susan. Kitty offers them one last job. When they refuse, she threatens Wolf by revealing she has Diane, and is ready to expose her secret identity. With no real choice, Wolf agrees to help. Kitty outlines her plan, but first, the team must prove themselves by stealing a rocket. Meanwhile, Diane tracks down Marmalade in a high-security prison to learn more about the MacGuffinite. He says it's a rare mineral with strange powers, but demands something in return, a game. The bad guys, still tied up, learn they need to steal the watch of Jeremiah Moons, head of the space program, to access the rocket. Their chance comes at a wedding he's attending. Disguised as the bride and priest, Wolf and Shark execute the plan. Mr. Sullivan spots them and tips off Jeremiah, but in a clever twist, Wolf manages to swap the watch and replace the bride, all part of his distraction-based plan. Back in the rocket base, Kitty gives her villain monologue to Wolf: the more you steal, the more respect you earn. She mocks his hope that doing good will earn forgiveness. But Wolf isn't buying it, and as he climbs into the van, he discovers Tarantula successfully recorded her whole speech. However, Kitty isn't done. She uses a magnet to trap them again before leaving. The team scrambles to stop Diane's video from spreading, but fails. Grunz arrives just as the upload finishes. At the same time, Diane reaches Kitty's location and confronts her. A battle breaks out, and Diane wins, but not before learning the video is already out. Kitty shoots her with a tranquilizer and moves forward with her plan. The world is stunned by Diane's revealed identity. She was the governor all along. Grunz doesn't seem to care when Wolf insists they're innocent. But after some time, she lets them out and says she believes them. They inform her that Kitty is about to launch the MoonX rocket. Acting fast, Wolf grunts, and the team take a helicopter and jump onto the rocket. Snake helps secure it, and the crew makes their way on board. Inside, Diane wakes up. The crew discovers Kitty is using the MoonX rocket to supercharge the MacGuffinite, creating a magnetic pull that begins dragging metal objects from Earth into space. Things spiral quickly. Susan begs Kitty to stop, but Kitty disagreed. Wolf arrives, battles her, and eventually grabs the stolen watch. Tarantula takes over the rocket and fires it at the stash of gold. Furious, Kitty attacks, but Diane shows up and puts her down for good. Wolf tells Diane he tried to stop the video upload. The two share a quiet moment together. Suddenly, the rocket starts to crash. Wolf rallies his team to save it, but in a jarring turn, we're led to believe they didn't survive. Grunz delivers a heartfelt farewell message. But in a final reveal, we learn the bad guys are alive, and now they're being offered a new role as secret agents. If you enjoyed this recap, consider subscribing for more. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.